But we've got the French here heading towards the Paris Paralympics and wondering how they will perform here.
So there we see Jan Helmut looking round, the 25-year-old from Hansa Dortmund, Hermione Krumlin behind him from Uda Club, Normania Polsechwik. Two Ukrainians, Daria Kotik furthest away and Stanislav Samueluk. Laurent Cadeau, more of him in the stroke seat, the 40-year-old, and behind Cadeau, Elur Alberdi, the Basque athlete. And here are the two fastest. So the female in the stroke seat for the British team, Annabelle Caddick, 24 years of age. Sam Murray, we'll talk about him as we go down the course. Both of them from Multi-Boat Club, which is Gregor Mai's club. Nicola Benavente, the coach of this para double. Just 4 crews in this event, and if you're watching Nicky Ayres and Jed Altschwager in Aussie and just seeing what your competitors are doing, we hope your training is going well. There's Laurent Cadet. We're going to tell you a lot about this athlete as we go down the course, aren't we, Greg?
Yeah, let's wait till we get into action, shall we? But yeah, very interesting story. Laurent Cadeau in the stroke seat of that French double. We're looking here at the Germans, all in position. It's a long hold. They're sitting with those blades square in the water, but all of them very smooth, very steady, very skillfully away from the start, pretty much in a line of 4.
So there you see the British 24-year-olds, Annabelle Caddick. I think they might have changed their order and just tried it this way around. The British at the back of the field. The Germans have gone out quickly. It's interesting, that German crew, because Jan Helmut was in the PR3Mix2x 4 last year at the Worlds, got a bronze medal, and he's in this double with Hermione Krumlin. So the Germans been shaking up their team, and the French, well, we talked to their chief coach yesterday, and I said, a bit surprised that the French were at the back of the field, and he said, it will be different tomorrow.
There's more to come. There's more to come. Laurent Cadeau, yeah. We saw him in the stroke seat there. He's got his leg taped up. No, the British won the preliminary race, but you can see everyone else gone flying out of the start here. Crews settling into their paces now, pretty much down to 36 strokes a minute, there or thereabouts, and it looks like, yeah, you can see the British starting to ease back into this.
Well, let's talk about Laurent Cadet, 40 years of age, and his palmares extend to the Athens and Beijing Olympics, where he was in the French team. As recently as 2015, he was in the French men's 8. He's been in the French men's pair in the games too. He went into hospital and had an operation issue, and it affected his nerve, I think, running down into his leg, and that classified him for PR3 rowing. So he's got a nerve issue, but it enables him to row in the para games in his, home country of France.
Yeah, his coach was saying, we read about the fact it was some sort of an injection that didn't work the way it should. So his right leg, he has very little feeling. You can see it's taped in when we saw those pictures of him. So a lot of taping on there to allow him to compete, and that allows him to compete in this para classification. So yeah, the man who's competed twice at the Olympic Games, lining up for his home para games. And yeah, like his coach said, the back of the field isn't where they want to be. This is where they want to be, leading. You can see they've got the Ukrainian crew to one side and the British right beside them. Lovely shot there.
That's a decent move by the British, isn't it? They probably had kind of a length, between them and the French, but they're now coming into the picture. Loving that drone shot. You can see these PR3 rowers use the sliding seat, and the British coming up, well, centimetre by centimetre as we speak.
Yeah, it's been a strong move really for the British. From about 250 gone here, that 500 that they've done, from 250 to 750 gone. They've settled into the pace. It's lower rating, you can see it, but they're just taking a little bit of distance each and every stroke. The Ukrainians still with them, the Germans not out of it either on the far side.
Well, these two Brits had to come in 4th place last year World Championship. It's interesting with Annabelle in the stroke seat, and you've got the power of Sam Murray behind her. And obviously Nicola Benavente has made that choice to try this double out the different way round, and it seems to be working really effectively. Maybe they found some extra speed being in the double for longer that they didn't quite have last season, Greg.
Yeah, well, you can see they look like they get fairly equal length. We saw that when we had that drone shot. It was quite interesting that you could see that the scullers are pretty much tracing out the same arc through the water. Of course, you want to do that. You want to be moving in a synchronized way, covering the same angles together, and the British are continuing to do that as we see it here on this lovely shot from above, and you see the angles exactly the same in that French double.
Yeah, these Ukrainians were in this, well, they were in the PR3 event in the Tokyo Olympics, but it's all closing up. This is one of the tightest para events we've had, just 9 meters between first and fourth, and it's going to be fascinating to see how this third quarter will unfold. The British edging out on the French, but Ukraine, well, will they push the French and thereby the French go back on the British?
Yeah, well, anyone's call at the moment, Martin, as you say, but the British have been steady. They're at 31 strokes a minute, the lowest rating in the field, so they got away smoothly and have settled into that pace.
She's really loose in the shoulders, isn't she, Annabel Caddick? She's really getting run from the boat forwards.
How about that German bow as well, though? How that's moved back up. I think it's the Germans who are on the move, and they are really working their way back into the medals here.
Helmich and Krumbine on the far side, out of shot. You can see the British leaders on the right-hand side of your screen. I guess the French who are dropping back. But as you said, Greg, 12:50 to go, and it is the Germans pushing their bows level with the French. Ukraine still out there, and that's the Ukrainian stroke man, Stanislav Samyuluk, the 22-year-old, just 19, Daria Kotik in the bows.
Yeah, well, look, they look young in terms of their, maturity, but they're racing this boat brilliantly as that Ukrainian move, that they held their nerve as well with the fast-starting French, who are now really paying in this headwind. We think it's a very fair-looking headwind. Might be slightly coming from across, but it's not bothering the British or the Ukrainians.
Ukrainians, you see that boat speed indicator at the bottom. Well, the British have just matched them, but I think the Ukrainians every so often, 14.6, just the boat speed giving an indication that they are edging back on the British, and we have 500 meters to go. Germany not out of it. Little perhaps less coordinated, the Germans, but a lot of power coming down from Jan Helmich, the 25-year-old Hansa Dortmund rower in the stroke seat. The French out the back look like they might miss out on a medal.
Yeah, the French, you can see the steering's gone off a little bit towards the side of the lane. The British still firing it straight down the middle of the lane. The Ukrainians the same. The Germans on the left of the picture look like they're getting pushed over to one side. But the British, they're here at 31 strokes a minute. They're moving really smoothly together. Sam Murray there taking a look to his right and seeing that they are pressing the rest of the field away from them. But it is that boat number 2 of Ukraine that's closing the gap. The Germans also looking to raise the stroke rate, looking to push on as we're in this last 500.
Yeah, it looks to have been a great decision to shake their crews up from the German para squad, but also a fantastic decision from Sam Murray, the 33-year-old in the bows with the white cap in that leading boat, to come back into the sport after a 5-year gap out. And, well, they started last season. They got a bronze medal in the Europeans, missed the medals in the Worlds, but look at the battle there for silver medal, Greg.
Well, look, you can see it for yourselves on the screen. The stroke rates are there. The British have eased it up a little bit. They're looking pretty solidly out for the gold medal. But it is this German double who've rode an extremely patient race in the first half and then just powered it on and on in the second 1,000. And you can see them now clearly into the silver medal position, trying to move on the British, but I think the British are holding it in the centre of the course here. The race course, you can see only 100 meters left. The British still moving smoothly, still moving distance per stroke, longer, more connected, more powerful strokes than the rest of the field, so we're coming in the last few strokes down to the line.
So Great Britain will come up to take a European gold in this event. They missed it in Bled, but they're going to get the gold here. Murray and Caddick, fantastic row, but what a finish from Krumblin and Helmich from Germany to grab the silver ahead of the Ukrainians who held that position for much of the race. Kotik and Samyuluk who take bronze. You can see just how tough it is in this headwind. Pat's on the back for Annabelle Caddick.
It's one of those things, isn't it? You see them riding along and say they're long, they're strong, they're powerful, and then you just see how much it hurts when they stop. Annabelle Caddick really showing the pain there.
Yeah, I just love the fact you can have the guy at stroke or the girl at stroke, sorry, woman at stroke, and the boat, you know, it will go, and it will go fast.
Yeah, and you can see the setup of the boat. So Laurent Cadeau is a very tall man, but you can see that they had those angles worked out, so they're covering very much the same arc as they were sculling. We saw from that overhead camera. The Germans will be pleased with the way they paced that race. And disappointment really for that French double, who led strongly out through the first 500 and then saw the whole of the rest of the field come back through them.
Yeah, there was a yes there, wasn't there, as they crossed the line. Onwards towards the Paralympics.
So confirmation there, we'll be seeing them in a moment for the medal ceremony, but it's Great Britain ahead of Germany and Ukraine, with France missing out this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem for Great Britain. Let's hear it for our medalists.
Hello everyone, thank you for support, thank you each other. Daria, will you marry me?
Oh my God! Oh my God! That is just insane.
Saying yes.
Stanislav Samueluk has just got down in front of, I guess she said yes, Daria Kosik. She's just 19, Daria. Oh, I've almost got tears in my eyes here. Look at that. That is so cool. Didn't know anything about that.
No.
Unbelievable. Never seen that happen at a World Rowing Championships before. Oh, and the medalists, I don't know if
Love is
they
in
knew
the
it.
Air is being played by DJ Mark Cavell.